Week 1 of Dana White's Contender Series 2024. Guys, this whole card is full of matchups that are really compelling, where both sides have clear paths to victory. Both sides have something that the other opponent's going to struggle with. This matchup is no different. When we look at this one here, we have Wes Schultz. He's 6-1 overall, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. He's taking on Mansur Abdul-Malik, who is 5-0 on the career, so obviously 5-0 in the last 5. And this is a middleweight matchup where the UFC really needs some middleweight prospects coming up right now. So this is one that, Dana White's going to have his eye on 100%, really focused on this matchup, because I think the winner of this fight, unless they just unless both fighters have such a poor performance, I think the winner of this fight probably gets a contract regardless, unless it's just like a DQ win or something like that. You know what I mean? Other than that, I think the winner's getting a contract. And we have an interesting dynamic here because both guys were college wrestlers, but Abdul-Malik was a D1 wrestler for a couple of years. Wasn't like the highest level of D1. Like he wasn't like a national champion or anything like that. I'm not saying, but D1 wrestling, regardless of your record, is still like you were good enough to get there. That's better than a lot of people in MMA as far as wrestling. Now, for Wes Schultz, he wrestled in college as well, but it wasn't that high level. He's more of the MMA fighter versus the guy who is a wrestler and now is doing MMA. Wes Schultz is more of the MMA fighter. It's going to be interesting to break this down and see how we're going to see this shake out. But without wasting any more time, let's dive into the nuts and bolts, shall we? So for Wes Schultz, we're going to start with his grappling because he does prefer to grapple over striking, which is interesting because he has competed in kickboxing as well. But in his grappling, first off, he's got pretty good takedowns, and he's really good at getting mat returns. I don't know that that's going to be super successful for him here. However, he's also very active from his back. So when he does get taken down, he is looking for submissions. He's looking for, to attack the submissions or try to take the back because he's a very good back taker. When he gets on top, though, working his side control, his mount, whatever, he's got very good top control. But the thing I like the most from Wes Schultz is in the ground and pound is his elbow use. He just uses pretty much exclusively elbows in ground and pound as opposed to punches, and it's very effective. Elbows slice people open. They obviously cause cuts. They cause fights to get stopped due to a doctor stoppage. But also, if you get somebody busted open, even if the fight's not getting stopped, you got blood coming into the eyes. You got, just things like that. The elbows also just hurt a lot. There's no padding on the elbow as there are in the glove. So for Wes Schultz, I love the elbow use. He's a solid grappler. The guy he's not like someone you think of as like a top tier grappler, but he is very good and he's very active and he never is just sitting there doing nothing. He's always doing something, and that makes up for any lack of maybe not the highest of level. Now, in the striking, he's a good striker as well. He's got very good kicks. That's probably his best weapon on the feet. He's got a wide variety of kicks, good head kick, things like that. And he can kick to all levels. But the problem is, he doesn't have a ton of power. I've seen him straight head kick somebody on the regional scene, and they were okay. Like, they stumbled a little bit, but like, they ate a flush head kick. So his power is not exactly there. I've actually had the opportunity to see Wes Schultz fight as an amateur locally in my hometown. I've seen him fight a couple of times as an amateur, and then when I started seeing him on the regional scene, saw his name on Dana White's Contender Series, I said, wow, okay, I've got to dive into what the heck this guy's been doing since then. I'd seen a little bit of him on the way, but generally it's just a leveled up version of what I saw from him as an amateur. He does have pretty good straight punches that lead to takedowns. I like that quite a bit, but like I said, the power's just not there in the hands. So if he's on the feet, he's without a doubt going to be the better striker, the cleaner striker in this matchup, but he's going to be at a power disadvantage, and we'll cover that in a minute. However, we know Wes Schultz can go a hard 3 rounds at least. So 15 minutes, hard rounds, good cardio. This guy's always doing something. So with the cardio, I would say we can't say for sure he's going to have the cardio advantage because we haven't seen it on the other side, and we'll cover that in just a minute. But Wes Schultz, he might be at a physical strength disadvantage here, but I'm assuming his cardio is going to be better. And I know that if this fight goes late, Wes Schultz is still going to be there because this guy, like I said, is very active over 15 minutes. On the other side, for Mansur Abdul-Malik, Abdul-Malik is a very, very solid college wrestling background, translates well into MMA. The dude has very powerful takedowns, very good takedowns, pick you up, slam you on your noggin. He's good at catching kicks as well, got a solid body lock, and he can mat return very, very well in addition to that. So one other thing that I think is interesting is he kind of like floats on his opponent. Rather than having like a heavy game, he likes to get his opponents to the mat and then kind of just float there and then just transition and stay above them. Very much like you would do in a wrestling match where they're trying to spin out until you go for like a pin, for example, in a wrestling match. he's trying to float over his opponent and be able to transition and beat them to the next position. And I think that's actually something that's going to be really helpful for him against a guy like Wes Schultz, who's going to be super active off his back. He's not trying to force this guy down and hold him down. He's trying to stay above him and then apply pressure and then remove pressure to allow the guy to move underneath him and then reapply pressure. If that makes any sense, I hope you guys are following me there. But so I do like that. His ground and pound is absolutely nasty. And that is something that I can see being a big problem for Wes Schultz, because although he's going to be active doing stuff off his back, you can only take so many big, heavy shots. And Abdul-Malik can throw bombs. Like this dude's hands are heavy hands. So especially in the ground and pound. So that's going to be a big upside for him. In the striking, it's decent. He's clumsy. And I don't mean clumsy like a toddler clumsy, but like for an MMA fighter, he's a little clumsy on the feet. He's got a long jab. He's got a ton of power, but he's wide open to counters. And I think it's because striking isn't his natural thing. And he's still kind of picking up his, like 5-0 in his career. So he's still new to it. I'm sure it's going to develop more as he goes. But right now, the striking, he's not solid there. But he doesn't have a ton of danger coming back at him from Wes Schultz. But he will be getting hit on the feet more often than not, I do believe. Wes Schultz is going to be the better striker. However, like I said, the power advantage is definitely going to be on the Abdul-Malik side. The biggest red flag for me, and it's not a red flag because the guy's done very well, it's a red flag from a picking perspective, is Abdul-Malik has never been out of the first round in his MMA career, I believe. Definitely his pro career. They all end in the first round. The guy's a monster. He slams you down, beats you up, and knocks you out. That's what he does, and he does it very well. If this fight goes late, Schultz is a live dog because Schultz does have the cardio, and he's very, very active throughout the whole fight. But I've got to take Mansur Abdul-Malik because I believe he's got the power to get it done. I know he's going to be able to get a takedown. It's just, can he get Schultz out of there? I think with the ground and pound that he has, he can. And I don't think although he's not going to be the better striker, I do think he's a good enough power puncher to be able to stay alive on the feet and also just not have a ton of power coming back at him in order to get the takedown. And once he gets the takedown, he's going to start landing them big, heavy shots. So for me, I've got to go with Abdul-Malik. It's an interesting fight. I assume he's going to be a favorite, and that's going to scare me away from betting him. But you guys make your own decision. Let me know who you have in this matchup. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. While you're down there, like the video. It does help the channel grow quite a bit. And a lot of you are probably just discovering this channel due to the Contender series. Maybe one of your buddies is fighting in this matchup, and that's cool. I hope I didn't do anybody a disservice. So like the video while you're down there. I appreciate all the feedback in the comments. I'll see you in the next fight.